so this is 5.1a part 2. All right, whoops. Okay, so now we're going to go the other way around. We're starting with our slope-intercept form, and we want to go into standard form. So we're going the opposite way. So remember, in standard form, you can have no fractions, so you can't end your final answer with a fraction. And a, this very first value, must be positive. So if it has a negative in front of it, you have to get rid of that negative. Okay. So here's an example. We have y is equal to 2 over 3x minus 1. So our step 1, we're going to remove fractions by multiplying everything by the denominator. So here our denominator is 3, so we're going to multiply everything by 3. Okay, so this is going to be times 3, this is going to be times 3, and this is going to be times 3. So here we're going to write a 3 in front of our y. This one, this 3, and this 3 cancel each other out, so we just end up with 2x. Here we have negative 1 times 3, so this becomes negative 3. Okay, so that's our first step. Oh yeah, and I should always write what I'm going for. ax plus by is equal to c, and we want no fractions, and a pause. Okay, so the first one we've done is gotten rid of fractions, so this one is good. Next thing, so if we notice here, we have our x and our y on the left of the equals. Here, we have the y on the left, but this one's not. So our next step is going to be moving this over to this side. Okay, so we're going to do that by whatever, this is positive, so we're going to do the opposite. We're going to subtract negative 2x from both sides. Okay, so now we get negative 2x plus 3y is equal to minus 3. So now we have our x first, then we have our y next, and then the equals, and then we have a whole number by itself with no letter. So that's good, it's in the right form. We have no fractions, but our a must be positive. Here, our a has a negative. So to get rid of that, we're going to divide everything by minus 1. So basically, when we do that, everything just changes signs. So anything that was negative becomes positive, anything that was positive becomes negative. So we end up with 2x minus 3y is equal to positive 3. And that is our final answer for this question. Okay. Next it says, we have another slope-intercept form, but this one has more fractions. So it says, change this to standard form. Okay. So we're going to start off by writing it out. Y is equal to negative 3 over 5x plus 3 over 4. So the first thing we want to do is we want to get rid of fractions. We notice in this case, we have two different denominators. Okay. So to get rid of our two different denominators, you have two options. One, we can get rid of one of the two denominators first. So you multiply everything by 5, and then come back again and multiply everything by 4. Or you can multiply the two numbers together and then multiply everything by that. If you multiply them together, it's quicker, but the math is a little more complex. So I'm going to show you doing one at a time. Okay, so let's get pink out here. So first I'm going to multiply everything by the first one, which is 5. So let's get the result of that. So here we have 5 and y, so we just end up with 5y. This next one, this 5 and this 5 cancel out, so we end up with minus 3x. Now this last little bit is a little trickier here, so I'm going to write it over here. So we have 3 over 4 times, now whenever you're multiplying by a whole number, you can write that number over 1. All whole numbers when you're multiplying fractions are over 1. When you're doing a multiplication like this, you multiply across the top, so 3 times 5, so that's going to give you 15. And then you multiply across the bottom. 4 times 1 is going to give you 4. You see if you can simplify the fraction at all? So in this case, I cannot simplify this fraction. So I'm going to write that here. It's positive, so plus 15 over 4. So now I still have this fraction. So I'm going to go and do this step again. And this time I'm going to multiply everything by 4. Times 4, times 4, times 4. So now I have to do 5 times 4. So I get 20y. I have negative 3 times 4, so I get negative 12x. And then this 4 and this 4 cancel out, so I just have plus 15. So I've gotten rid of my fractions now. Next, if I'm going for this format, I need to move this over to the other side. So I'm going to do the opposite of negative 12x. I'm going to add 12x. Both sides. I'll rewrite my x first, so I get 12x plus 20y is equal to 15. I check to make sure I have no fractions. I check to make sure my a is positive. In this case it is. So this is my final answer. Oops, that's the one I wanted to do. It's a highlighter. Okay, so now you can go to page 195 and do question number 4. And it's going to be like this. And then come back, this section has a part 3.